Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shit Radio. I'm your host, Bill Brasky, joined as always by Liarz
Yo.
Wasted.
What's up?
And we're discussing, is Disclosure Day a secret sequel to Close Encounters of the Third Kind? A new Steven Spielberg movie coming out this summer, 2026. And it's got the internet abuzz. Now, Liarz, you got some information for us?
Well, apparently, some keen-eyed observers watched the trailer and noticed some similarities between the two movies, right? So, in the way it's filmed with some recurring visual and narrative patterns, right? So I can see what they're going with there. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it all. Like I agree somewhat. I'm not 100% sold on it though. When I watched the trailer, the first thing I thought wasn't Close Encounters of the Third Kind, but it's definitely a Spielberg movie though, right? If that makes any sense. But the plot is very similar, and it's kind of a updated version of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's basically, as the title says, it's full disclosure. It's Disclosure Day. Emily Blunt is in it. She plays a weather woman, it looks like, and apparently she starts talking in this tongue, this alien tongue, and it goes from there. I mean, that's at least what I got from the trailer. What about you, Wasted?
Yeah, just from what I saw is that and they're saying it's not officially a sequel. They haven't said that, but it's more like a spiritual sequel. So it's kind of like you said, it's in the style. I don't know if is it going to be focused more on what we're seeing with the actual real life disclosure stuff.
Yeah.
Is he going to go into that type of
Wasted
situation?
Before we go in that direction, there's a lot more similarities that people are noticing. Like the location looks like it's the same location as Close Encounters of the Third Kind. There's like a diner that appeared in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It also looks like it's appearing in Disclosure Day. A lot of similarities between the locations, the tone, the settings. And Liarz, what year did Close Encounters come out?
1977 was when Close Encounters of the Third Kind came out. So 50 years ago.
Is that right?
1977, yeah.
Okay, the reason I asked that is because Spielberg is now making an alien movie, which the only other alien movie that Spielberg has made in the past has been E.T., which clearly is not a sequel to Close Encounters. And he made War of the Worlds, which is a remake of a prior movie. So was Spielberg now making this Disclosure Day after making Close Encounters of the Third Kind almost 50 years later? It kind of seems like he's wrapping it up. I know Wasted said that Steven Spielberg has been quoted saying this is a spiritual successor. Is that correct, Wasted?
Yeah, that's not. I don't think Spielberg said that. That's just how people are like looking at it. You know, who know a bit more about it said that it's not, an actual official. They haven't officially said it, but it seems like the vibe is more spiritual than actually directly tied to that movie. Like it's not the same characters, And Spielberg's never really done that. He's never really had connections between his movies, like characters and themes, like trilogies and things. They're all standalone.
Really?
I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, Liarz. Or not Liarz. Hey, Wasted. What movie did Steven Spielberg direct in the early 1980s with Harrison Ford?
Jaws? Oh.
No.
Harrison Ford. Star Wars?
No. That'd be Indiana Jones. And I believe Indiana Jones has got... It's got 4 sequels on top of the originals, 5 movies total. And then another movie that Spielberg directed there in the 90s. That one's got quite a few sequels. It was called Jurassic Park. So saying that Steven Spielberg saying that Steven Spielberg doesn't do sequels is I really wouldn't say accurate. And right now,
I mean the direct connections between the movies. Indiana Jones movie doesn't really connect directly to Temple of Doom. the story. They're separate stories. You know what I mean? That's
What about Jurassic Park, Wasted?
I don't think like they're not like what's that guy called? Jeff Goldblum. He's not in all of them, is he? He comes back in one of them. Yeah, he might come back in one of them.
He comes back in a few of them.
I'm not sure it's the same story.
So wait a second. There's this island that has dinosaurs in it. And there's a continuation of what happens because of this island that has dinosaurs, yes or no?
Yeah.
And then people start reopening this island and more shenanigans occur. You don't think that's a continuation of the story?
Oh, the story, but not the characters. Like if you're talking about this Alien Disclosure movie,
so Indiana Jones
characters from 1917.
Okay, just follow my logic here, right? Indiana Jones, the first one's Raiders of the Lost Ark, right?
Yeah.
There's Nazis in there.
Yeah.
The technical one that should be the ending of Indiana Jones is The Last Crusade, and guess who Indy's going against again?
Yeah, but it's not. But it's not whatever that guy. You know, the guy
he's going against them Nazis
melted into his hand in the first movie. It's not that guy, is it? It's not the same character. It's only Indiana Jones that survives.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's only Indiana Jones, and the chick is different.
Listen.
Pesky Nazis.
The Rocky. Listen.
But he wasn't in Jaws.
Listen, Predator 2 is not a sequel to Predator because there's no Arnie.
I'm not saying it's not a sequel. I'm just saying that these two movies, Disclosure and Close Encounters, aren't directly connected by characters. So that's what they say anyway. Like there's whoever was in the...
How do we know that?
That's just what they say. That's why they say it's more of a spiritual sequel than an actual direct continuation of that story.
The movie hasn't come out yet. How do we know at the end of the movie fucking Ron Howard doesn't come out of a fucking spaceship like, hey guys, look, I can play piano still.
Yeah.
Boo, 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 boo. What is it, that music at the end? That's the only thing. And then fucking E.T. comes down.
What? How does it... Guys, listen, I'm going to spoil the end of Disclosure Day. Listen, you know what happens? Fonzie gets on his freaking motorbike and he jumps over a spaceship. It's great.
So it's a BMX. It's on a BMX. Phone home.
Okay. Shit.
Him and
E.T.'s got Fonzie's leather jacket on going, hey.
Hits the jukebox and the power
What are we doing here? Lies,
That the music from Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Mr. Miyagi's back there making burgers for everybody. The aliens love him.
That's right. That's right.
Let me get to the point here. There's donuts come out. You're going, hey, look, I found these aliens. Andy, there's aliens. Liarz, you have watched Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I don't think Wasted's watched that movie sober. After watching Close Encounters of the Third Kind and this trailer, give me the odds that you think this could be a sequel.
I'm going to 40%. I think it's low.
That's pretty strong. You think it's low? I think 40% is strong.
Well, it's less than half, right? So I'm definitely erring on the side of caution on this one. What would be... I just don't know what Spielberg would have to gain by not saying that it's a... If anything, saying it's a sequel or a quasi-sequel or even any way related to Close Encounters of the Third Kind would be a boost at the box office, in my opinion. It would drum up interest, even more interest than there is right now on this movie. This could be a movie of epic proportions. As of right now, I didn't even know the trailer was out. I've heard of the movie and I knew it was coming out, but I only watched the trailer today. Does that make sense? You know what I mean?
Yeah, what I was going to say to you was this. Do you remember J.J. Abrams, pretty famous director, movie producer, he's done a lot of movies. He did one of the Mission Impossible movies. He destroyed Star Wars. He's been around a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, remember, he took over the Star Trek franchise there when it rebooted with Chris Pine as Captain Kirk. They made the second one, and I don't remember the character's name that they were trying to use to hide this character, but Benedict Cumberbatch was going to be Khan in the second new Star Trek movie. They're like, oh, no, that's not Khan. It's some guy named John. We swear he's not Khan.
Okay.
So they go through and everything. The movie debuts. Guess who he is?
Khan.
He's Khan. because Hollywood directors want to have that gotcha moment. They're like, I bet you didn't see that coming, pal. It's happened before. It could happen again. Like M. Night Shyamalan, I'm pretty sure just likes trolling people. And Spielberg doesn't have a history of doing it yet, but he's also getting to the age where he might want to start fucking with people.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was actually that was my next point. But
go to your point. Go to it. I didn't hear it. The audience didn't hear it. Come on.
It's revolving around that he doesn't have a history of doing this, right? But you make a good counterpoint to that, saying, yeah, he's getting up there now, and maybe he wants to, f around with the audience a little bit more. You know what I mean? Whatever, right? So it's just that when I think of I don't think of a sneaky director when I think of Spielberg. I think of his movies as pretty straightforward and very like linear, right? Whereas M. Night Shyamalan, you used that example, M. Night Shyamalan, he's very erratic, and his stories take place sometimes in multiple timelines. You know what I mean? So it's not something that I would expect from Spielberg.
I can appreciate that. There's another kind of idea onto this, and this is where I interrupted Wasted, which I'm not trying to be rude to Wasted. Audience, if you hear me and Wasted talk, it's because we're that close of friends. All of us on here, we're bros. That we talk like men. If you're too sensitive, we're very sorry. You can tell us in the comments below how Brasky's a bastard, which, don't worry, I won't respond because I don't give a fuck. But Liarz are Wasted, well, because they're gentlemen. Now, Wasted, you were bringing up a point that this movie, Disclosure Day, might be connected to our actual governments getting ready to actually do disclosure on aliens themselves, which they've been teasing this for a long time with Project Bluebeam and all that other shit. So, Wasted, what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, actually, the way you just said it there is that I hadn't really thought of that. It may be just they'd be like priming the culture for the disclosure. Like Spielberg's version of it is going to sort of shape what we all think. But that's not the thing that I've been seeing is that there's been more like stories popping up about disclosure, stories like this almost the day after.
Hey, Wasted. Let me interrupt you real quick. And I want you to continue on after this, but I just want to get your opinion. And audience, I want to know your opinion too, so let us know in the comments. Does anyone else find it odd that the movie Contagion, the one about an outbreak, and the movie actually Outbreak, came out, Outbreak came out about 25 years before the whole COVID thing happened. But Contagion, man, that only came out like, 7-8 years before, we had a pandemic that was very, very similar to that movie. I mean, do you find that?
Yeah, it was almost exactly the same.
Yeah. Do you see the similarities, Wasted?
What's that called when Hollywood does that? Predictive programming?
Yeah, predictive programming, like Liarz said.
Yeah, predictive programming. But there's also that book by Eyes of Darkness, which predicted an escape from the lab in the same country.
Well, here's another thing. There was a movie I watched back in the day because I'm a huge Denzel Washington fan, and you guys can look this up. It was called The Siege. All right, it stars Denzel Washington and Annette Bening. You know what the movie's about? Terrorism in New York City. You know what happened like a year or two afterwards? One of the worst terrorist acts, whoever did it, in the history of the United States happened. And we lost, over 3,000 people. But the movie, literally was about terrorism in New York. Maybe it's because it's, something that's likely to happen with how large the city is. But, I mean, I really think, Liarz, can you look that up real quick, what year that movie came out?
What would you like to know? Not Under Siege with...
No, it was called The Siege.
The Siege.
It was not Under Siege. It wasn't a Seagal movie. Because if it was Seagal, it would have been just him. He would have fought the planes with his hands, okay?
That's right.
Hey, you think you're a tough plane?
He would have been cooking on the plane. He's a chef on the ship.
That's right.
He would have been on the plane cooking up.
1998, The Siege follows an FBI counterterrorism chief and CIA op. Yeah. And escalating terror attacks in New York after the U.S. abducts a suspected militant leader. Crazy.
Yeah, so 3 years later, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys that who did it, those groups that said they said they were inspired by Die Hard.
Yeah, but I mean,
Did they
why would they
really?
be inspired? They lose. Number one, that's German radicalist. That's who Hans Gruber and his group was. I don't think they would have taken too kindly to the Islamic jihadist movement at the time. And guess what? In Die Hard, the building's pretty fucked up, but it still stands. I mean, sure, you can have that much C4 to a building, and the roof just needs some work on it, and the interior, and there's a bunch of flooding. But John McClane wins in the end of that movie, and that has the great Al Powell before Puff Daddy did what he did to him, taking out that ballet dancer Carl at the end. I mean, sir, if I was watching Die Hard and I was a terrorist, I wouldn't think like doing anything's a good idea. Because what if John McClane is there?
That's right. That's right.
It just
Yeah, I love a point.
I see it almost like as reflecting back on what we fear, not what they think. Because maybe it wasn't them that did it. It was us that did it.
The only thing I'll say is this: I really don't. If you look at there's a statistic that shows like what IQs are per countries in the world. I don't think there's a lot of Mensa members in certain parts of the world. We'll say that, and that's just, folks. That's not me being xenophobic, racist, and even picking on anybody. That's just going by, hey, listen, you look at the Asian countries, they're a lot smarter than some of us Western countries, all right? But if you look at some of the countries that, some other people are from, they're not very intelligent, not intelligent enough to be, flying a plane that, But back to anyways, predictive programming.
Yes.
You're saying, Wasted, that you kind of see that there's some predictive programming with all this alien disclosure. Last year we had Anna Paula Luna, whatever the fuck her name is, the senator or congresswoman. She was part of the alien disclosure thing. We've talked on your show about how they're like, oh look, there's an F-18 chasing this spaceship and shooting missiles at it, and it's not doing a damn thing. So, what do you think's going on here, Wasted? You inform us. You got a little article there that you want to tell us about too? Some little news.
Yeah, these stories seem to be flooding the media, and it's sort of like slightly independent of the actual official disclosure hearings and things like that. But this guy he was accused of perpetrating the biggest military computer hack of all time, and he says he went into the computer system, and he wasn't really looking for it. He was looking more for sort of anti-gravity stuff or something like that. But what he found was a picture of a cigar-shaped aircraft hovering above the Earth.
Oh, really?
So it was like a picture, and he says it's hovering around the Earth. So that's his story, and he's been arrested for the hack. So he's like a real person who hacked in to NASA's systems and found this picture, and it just seems like. I mean, it sounds sort of believable. There's a picture of this kind of long cigar shape. And then...
No, Wasted.
There's lots of stories like that.
When you say that, that makes me think that somebody at the NSA is fucking around. You want to know why? Yeah. Okay, because when I hear a long cigar shape, the only thing that I'm thinking about is they got a spaceship called the SS Bill Clinton, and the Earth model's called Monica, and it's, hey there, you're mighty round. You want to see what I can do with this cigar? Yeah, it tastes real good. Sweet. That's all I'm hearing.
Yeah, there's even on this article here, there's another story above it. It says mystery as UFO vault with 3.8 million files is wiped clean hours after Trump demands alien docs released.
Is that verifiable?
So there's all kinds of things
Okay.
I mean, it's in the Daily Mail.
Okay, no,
it has to be true.
Sounds accurate.
I mean, it's
It's in the
who knows?
I was just curious where you're getting
the Daily Mail.
Yeah, I'm not looking hard. I'm seeing all this stuff in mainstream media, and it's kind of like this. It's kind of like a wall of all these kind of conspiracy stories and UFO disclosure stories, but they all seem independent of the official disclosure hearings going on. And it kind of it's all preparing us. It feels like, the smoke without fire, that type of thing. I mean, there's so much smoke coming off from all kinds of sources. People will think, oh, there's got to be something there. They must have an alien craft that landed.
there's definitely more and more stories becoming to the mainstream, and it all stems from the disclosure hearings from how long ago now were they? Like 2-3 years ago? Maybe even longer. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
No, dude, like they started like the Congresswoman's Anna Paula Luna. That was last year and the year before that they really started to like disclose, like, oh, here's the videos. Because I mean, we have on our shit radio channel YouTube, we have an episode called Baywatch and Hellfire Missiles where we discuss this. We have, if you like UFO content, folks, just look through our videos. Liarz is a UFO aficionado, and Wasted is one of the lone gunmen from the X-Files. So I mean, buddies, we got that stuff for you on here. But it's been happening now more and more and more to, like, if you take a vote from the general public, let's say 20 years ago, 30% might go, yeah, aliens exist. I'm pretty sure of it. You probably get another 30% that said, maybe, I'm not sure. And then you get probably, 40% that goes, no effing way. You do that nowadays, man. I'm thinking you got 75% of people going, oh yeah, aliens definitely exist.
And they also, whenever something crazy happens in the news that they don't want you to know about, suddenly they pop up with the alien disclosure story again. Like, it's not in the news cycle for a bit. It's just bubbling away. And then something bad happens and they're like, oh, look over here. Aliens, we're going to do it tomorrow. And then they don't do it. But
there's definitely some wag the dog going on there for sure. But
Liarz, explain what Wag the Dog is, because listen, we're older people. If we have any folks that are younger, millennials, Gen Z, they're not going to understand what Wag the Dog is, and it's a hell of a saying. So can you explain that to the audience?
If I have it correct, Wag the Dog is when it's a distraction. Like you're talking about one thing, and they say, "Hey, look over here," right? So you're distracting from what's really going on. Yes.
Can I give an example to the audience? Well, hold on, wait a second. I'm going to give an example. Here's an example of wagging the dog. Let's say there's some files that have very high-profile politicians, businessmen coming out, and they could lead to great embarrassment, even criminal charges. And the public is being made aware of it. There's building. How do I say this? There's building will to see prosecutions happen and enthusiasm to find out more details and get more disclosure. And to stop that, you would, start a war with another country. So then everyone would be focused on the war. Or you would, make an old lady disappear. Those types of things. That'd be considered wagging the dog. Hypothetically, of course.
It's normally like the tail wags the dog. As in, the dog is the bigger thing that's a big problem. But the tail ends up wagging the dog. And the tail is normally something smaller. But it's the opposite way around, isn't it? Normally, the dog wags the tail. So it's the tail wagging the dog.
And there you have it.
Boy, you're saying something smaller could make something bigger do something? No way. But anyways, back to aliens.
I have a lot of experience with that. It's working overtime.
Look out. Back to aliens. There's definitely some.
Well, yeah, there's another one here. Mysterious vehicle of unknown origin hidden at U.S. Navy base raises questions about secret UFO program. It's just endless.
I love UFOs, and I love the idea of UFOs, and I believe there are other beings from other places. Sure. The more I read into what the military defines as a UFO or now a UAP is very interesting, because they say that it's they leave it open. They're very ambiguous in the way that they describe it. So they leave it open so that they make it sound like it could be extraterrestrial, but in actuality, it's very human, and it's made in some clandestine operation in the bottom of some factory somewhere in North Dakota. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like a UAP facility that's not run by the government. It's just a private operation. And then, it might just be like some new technology that crash landed that was from another country. And then they say we don't know what this is. So therefore it's extraterrestrial. That's how they define it.
That's ambiguity that I'm talking about right there. 100%.
Very.
Can I give you guys a great example?
Yes.
So during the Gulf War in 1991, where the United States went to war with Iraq because the Iraq invaded Kuwait for reasons that we don't discuss right now, they unleashed a new bomber that no one knew about. They actually released two. One was the B-2 stealth bomber, and the other one was the F-117. So both these stealth bombers, no one ever saw, and they debuted out of nowhere in the Gulf War, and everyone's like, "Holy shit!" I just think there's things like that exist that we don't know about. I mean, even Russia right now with those new Orshenko, or I'm probably not enunciating it well because my Russian's pretty shitty. But they have these new hypersonic ballistic missiles that, they pretty much act like nuclear bombs, and they come out like fucking Mach 10, Mach 9 when they go into space and they come back into orbit and they hit the target. I mean, that's insane because just think about it, back 50 years ago, you're talking it's 1975 and, ICBMs are around, but most of the things we're talking about, we still had propeller planes that were, actively commissioned for big militaries like the United States and Russia and everyone else.
Yeah, they definitely hide what they're doing. They don't tell the public or the rest of the world exactly what they're doing. So then if somebody comes across this by accident or finds something, or they crash it somewhere by accident, they have to deny it. And then maybe the classic thing is to say, they're going to define it as though that was aliens, that wasn't us.
I just find it really odd that there's a movie coming out about alien disclosure by one of the biggest directors in the history of Hollywood right when all these hearings are coming out, and it's damn near close to the 50th anniversary of Close Encounters. Like Wasted saying that if you go on social media, even if you're not into UFOs, like I'm not a big UFO guy at all. Like I don't look into this, it's not something that I'm like find that interesting, because if it happens, it happens. There's nothing I'm going to be able to do about it. But it's in my feed. I don't post. I'm not someone who likes social media. I just like to read things. Mostly I'm just on there for sports because I want to know who got traded where, who got signed where, etc. But it's non-stop showing up. If you hop on YouTube right now, it's all over the place. And Liarz, you're our aficionado. You have seen it just jump, right? Like it's just everywhere right now.
There's no doubt that the amount of stories coming into mainstream media is at an all-time high. There's no doubt about that. How much of it is the Hollywood propaganda machine, though? Knowing that, like Spielberg, he's obviously a very brilliant man. He's made some incredible movies and been involved in countless others, right? So what's to not say that he's not an opportunist, where he saw an opportunity here to jump on it and get this propaganda machine going, all of it in to promote his movie instead of it being the other way around. Do you know what I mean?
Let me ask you this, Liarz. When was the last time Spielberg had a knock your socks off like hit movie? Was it Saving Private Ryan? Was that the real last Spielberg just like holy shit hit?
Was Minority Report and AI hits? The Tom Cruise Minority Report, was that class? Was it classed as
it's a damn good movie?
The one that was quite big, as I remember, the AI movie.
No, I don't think AI didn't do shit. The one with Haley Joel Osment.
And what's the one with this? I can't remember the name of it. There's another Tom Cruise.
I mean,
War of the Worlds.
Liarz.
He hasn't had a hit in a long time. I mean,
Liarz, do me a quick favor, and then we'll kind of end the show because we don't want to bore you to death. But I'm curious. Open up Wikipedia real quick for Steven Spielberg. The reason I'm having Liarz do this, folks, is because I want to look over his movies like War of the Worlds. Hey, okay, it made money. It didn't lose money for the studio. Minority Report probably made money, didn't lose money from studio, is an excellent movie. But I want to know what the last time Steven Spielberg made a movie like Jaws or E.T., Jurassic Park. And the last one I can think of that's coming to my mind is Saving Private Ryan. So I'm going to have Liarz, which if you know how the show works, I'm basically like Joe Rogan. He's basically my Jamie. And Wasted's basically our Eddie Bravo / Alex Jones aficionado.
He's going, like, if you don't include, like, would you include Indiana Jones in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? Like, that was a horrible movie.
That's a horrible movie. No, I pretend that movie doesn't exist.
Wasn't there another one after that as well?
I mean,
we're pretending that one doesn't exist too.
Fablemans, West Side Story, Radio Player One, or Ready Player One. Sorry, The Post, The BFG, Bridge of Spies, Lincoln, Warhorse. I don't even know these movies. He had
Lincoln, I think, was one of those movies that did well at the Academy Awards because I'm pretty sure Daniel Day-Lewis won the Academy Award for that movie.
Lincoln.
But it's not a movie that was like big blockbuster. Holy crap! Changed Hollywood. Are we going back to Saving Private Ryan?
So after we get to the Indiana Jones movie, Munich was pretty good. That was decent, but again, it's not like this what you think of with Spielberg. So yeah, we're going to Catch Me If You Can, The Terminal, and then AI Intelligence, and then all the way back in 1998 is Saving Private Ryan. And then
listen, I love Catch Me If You Can. It's a fantastic movie, but for Spielberg, we're talking Jaws, E.T., Jurassic Park. We're now saying this man hasn't had a knock your park off hit or, knock the ball out of the park hit since 1998. And if my math is right, that's 27 years ago. Now, he's had movies that made money that did well. Some have won Academy Awards for Daniel Day-Lewis for Lincoln and stuff. Some fine movies, but there hasn't been like a blockbuster that will just never age.
So
that's crazy.
So was this this disclosure that's happening and this drummed up in the media right now with this abundance of disclosure stories in the media? Is that his Hollywood propaganda machine pumping out all of this to drum up interest for this movie from a man who hasn't had a hit in 27 years, 28 years? That's my argument.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hollywood,
you're seeing my
Hollywood's
point.
Pretty powerful, right? And despite all the shit they're going through right now, and they are going through a very low time right now, they're still very powerful.
Wasted, do you have anything else you want to add? Because I think Liarz is now catching my drift of what I mean by what the whole plan is here for Spielberg and what he's up to.
Yeah, for Spielberg's career, that sounds about right. But the original movie, Close Encounters, was more about aliens do exist, and now he seems to be doing one that might be saying, maybe there's a conspiracy and they don't really exist.
I think this movie is more saying that, I haven't seen the movie, it hasn't come out, so we can't judge it, but I think the movie's more implying that, the aliens are the good guys, and they've been, trying to help us all along, and our government's being dickheads. That's kind of what I'm saying, but I don't know. I haven't seen the movie yet. Liarz hasn't seen the movie yet. Liarz, is there anything you want to add instead of you love to love UFOs?
No, I'm good.
Well, why don't you take us out, brother?
Alrighty, everybody. Thanks for listening, everyone. Look for us on YouTube. It's our main channel. Hit like and subscribe. Leave us a comment. We'll get back to you. We love all the comments. Love the interaction. If you're not watching on YouTube, check us out on Rumble or Spotify, and from Spotify, wherever else you get your podcasts. All right. Aliens exist, everyone.
Cheap radio is toxic pollution. Cheap radio.